You wake up and are immediately flooded with worries about your to-do list. You press your snooze button as your stress levels rise. Your brain then shifts from the impending worries of the day to what happened yesterday. You ruminate on those thoughts of the past for a bit. Your anxious thoughts are interrupted by the alarm clock going off again. You drag yourself out of bed physically as your mind tugs you back and forth between past problems and future worries. Does some iteration of this scenario sound familiar to you? If you feel overtaken by the voice in your head, the stream of involuntary and incessant thinking, you are not alone. In this animated book summary about the power of now by Eckhart Tolle, I'll go over the top 4 ways to come back to the present moment. Tolle labels this presence as the now. The now is all we truly have. We tend to get lost in the mind drama of the past and future, but those are elusive. When people asked Tolle how they could have the same joy he exudes, Tolle replied, "You already have it. You can't feel it because your mind is making too much noise." Let's dive into the best ways to be here right now, according to Tolle. Number 1, clock time versus psychological time versus the now. In the book, Tolle discusses time. He notes that in order to suffer, you must have time. You must either be thinking in the past or the future to suffer. If you are right here at this moment, you will not suffer. Most of our suffering is due to mentally ruminating over something that is not happening right here, right now. Clock time is what we use to plan out events on the calendar. It enables us to set up plans with others, coordinate projects and activities, and live in this world. It is also used to learn from the past so that we don't repeat mistakes. It is used to set goals and work toward them. All of these things are done in the present moment. Psychological time, however, is when we are knee-deep in thoughts of the past or the future. Our mind is elsewhere while our being is here. When we are in psychological time, we miss out on the most important thing of all, this moment. This psychological time is not good for us because it takes us away from the one amazing gift that we have, which is the present moment. The book argues that the past and the future are all just illusions and projections. They don't exist. What does exist is the actual moment that you are in. Tolle separates clock time and psychological time, which made a lot of sense to me. You shift into clock time when you need to schedule things, learn from mistakes, and map out goals and plan. You are doing all these things in the present moment and not dwelling on them or making them part of your identity. Psychological time has no use. It only pulls you away from creating and being in the present. If you watch your mind, you can see how often it gets pulled into this past or future thinking. You want to decrease the psychological time because when you are in it, you are not in the present moment. Psychological time is denial of the present. When you do this, you are acting based on conditioned reactive patterns and you lose the freshness and vibrancy of life. The book notes that an enlightened person's main focus of attention is always on the now, but they are still peripherally aware of time. They still use clock time, but are free of psychological time. Let's look at an example of clock time. You are sitting down with your friends to plan a vacation. You need to schedule the hiking trip to coordinate with everyone's schedules. You have to pick the dates, reserve your rental, and coordinate when you will travel out to the mountains. Let's look at an example of psychological time. I recently went on a hike with my dog. As I was walking, I watched my mind. First, I started thinking about my tennis match the other day. I was thinking about how I could have done a lot better with my serve. Then my mind shifted to a worry about getting a certification done in time for work. As I brought my awareness to my thoughts, I realized that I was not actually out there in the woods with my dog. I wasn't enjoying the beauty around me and time with my fluffy friend. I was being robbed of the joy of that moment because I was on psychological time. Let's take a look at an example of the now. Close your eyes, assume a relaxed position. Place one hand on your abdomen, place your other hand on your heart. Take a deep breath. Now take another deep breath and another deep breath. Feel your chest rise and fall. Feel the air flowing in and out. You are in the timeless now of this moment. Now is the narrow gate that leads to life. Here is one question to ask yourself to see if you're living presently. Is there joy, ease, and lightness in what I'm doing? If there isn't, time is covering up the present moment. If you aren't feeling these things, then you don't necessarily need to change what you are doing, but how you are doing it. This means you are immersed in the process of doing versus achieving an endpoint. Key takeaways. Number 1, use clock time when you need to plan, schedule, or set goals. Number 2, decrease psychological time in the past or future as it robs you of the now. 3, spend your time in the present moment, which is all you actually have. Number 2, experience your inner body. Your inner body is essentially the formless being of you, almost like your essence. Bear with me here, this took me a bit to get a handle on too. Your inner body is your true nature, your ever-present consciousness and pure form. It is your being, if you will. This is important to get in touch with because it is who you really are. The book says that your sense of self is merely a fiction of the mind. The inner body is who you really are. Nothing you ever do could possibly add to it. When you are in touch with this inner body, you are in touch with your core nature and can let go of your self-identification with your life situation and personal history. When you do this, you can connect with other people from that place. That place would be one of inner peace. There is no mental or emotional resistance in the inner body. Through the inner body, you are connected to what has yet to be manifested. It's the realm of eternal presence and the indestructible and individual reality. If you are confused by this concept, Tolle recommends closing your eyes and focusing on each body part. You can then visualize your energetic field. Maybe your energetic field has a color. At a certain point, he recommends dropping the visualization and to just feel your inner energetic body, as it's technically formless and limitless. You can't intellectualize the inner body as it must be felt. I struggled with this concept at first. I decided to go out on a walk in the woods and try it out. As I was walking, I imagined this inner body within me. I took in the sounds of the birds, the green trees blowing in the wind, and the dirt beneath my feet. I slowly dropped the colorful visualization of my inner body. The best way I could describe it was I was pure consciousness experiencing the sensory input. Think of a consciousness without a body or mind-created identity experiencing the world. It felt a little trippy, and I'm sure it sounded like I was on drugs, but I promise that I was not. This is the closest I have been to this experience so far, but drop a comment below with your inner body experiences. The author notes you can practice feeling your inner body while doing basic things like washing your hands, reading, or waiting in traffic. These can be awesome times to work on keeping part of your attention on your inner body and staying rooted within. Key takeaways. 1. Your inner body is your true nature, which is not tied to personal history or life situation. 2. Being in touch with your inner body is freeing and peaceful because it's pure consciousness. It's free from emotional and mental resistance. 3. If you are having trouble with this concept, try to imagine a formless consciousness experiencing the world and what that would be like. Number 3, let go of your ego. Oh, the ego that we hold on to so tightly. Our political stance, our religion or belief system, our job, our social position, our education, our physical appearance. Did you know that none of those things are you? Your ego perceives these things as you because it wants to be separate. It clings tightly to these things. It fights others if you feel like any of these are threatened. It causes resistance within you and with others. It wants strife and conflict. It creates fear because it makes you see yourself and everything around you as highly unstable. In order to truly be present in this moment, you need to release the tight hold on the ego. You can let it die. When spiritual texts discuss death of the self, they are speaking of death of the ego. It can also be the death of the past moment of your life. Let them go and fully be here now. Another way to let go of your ego is to forgive. Forgiveness reclaims the power back from the ego. When you forgive, you are offering no resistance to life and you are allowing it to live through you. When you drop the resistance, the ego dies. The ego only knows non-forgiveness. The book talks about being tied to the ego as being unconscious. That is to say, you are identifying with the mental, emotional states and external things outside of yourself. You are tied to these things for happiness, and so you get tugged back and forth because they are outside of you. This is a conditioned and unconscious state. You can't be present in that state because you're constantly in a mind tug-of-war. The book talks about releasing the ego as becoming fully conscious. To do this, you just need to do one thing. You need to be present. It's a quantum concept, but it's actually not complicated to implement. You just need to keep coming back to this moment until it's all that you live in. For me, it looks like this. I watch my mind. If I see it wanting to react, defend, attack, I pause. I gently notice something in my environment. I take a deep breath. Anything that snaps me back to the present moment that I am actually in. I gently let go of the strong reaction tied to my ego. I don't get mad at myself. I know that I am practicing. You have to practice to master. You will mess up and it's okay. Let the past bury itself and try again the next moment. It will come. Key takeaways. 1. Your ego is what your mind identifies with, such as your life situation, religion, job, where you live, and political affiliation. None of these things are you. 2. Watch your mind. If you feel the need to react, defend, and attack, pause and shift yourself to the present moment and practice forgiveness to release resistance. 3. When you are tied to the ego, you are unconscious and reactive based on habitual conditioning. When you are in the present now, you are fully conscious to create and be. 4. Surrender, make a change, and take positive action in the now. This one is short and sweet. I thought it was super actionable from the book though. If you feel stuck, you have options. You can surrender to the present moment, take positive action at that moment, and change or leave a situation. You don't need to suspend yourself in the in-between and suffer. This pulls you out of the present moment and steals vital energy from you. Remember, you are only surrendering to the present moment, not the entire situation, because you can only surrender to what is here now. Surrender doesn't mean passively putting up with things in your life that you don't like. Surrender is complementary to taking positive action. Think of surrender as yielding to versus opposing the flow of life. When you take action from this place of surrender and acceptance, you increase the life energy and quality of consciousness in whatever you do. This is called surrendered action. It is important to note that no truly positive action can arise out of an unsurrendered state of consciousness. If you are facing something like an illness, you must surrender and accept the isness of the present moment if you do not want to suffer. It may not make you happy, but you will be at peace. You will release the mental and emotional resistance and take positive action in the present moment. Remember, this doesn't mean complacency or passiveness about it. It doesn't mean acceptance of the entire situation, but just the present moment. This frees you to focus on the here and now. If you are facing a big decision that you have control over, you can take positive action. You don't need to worry about the future. You just surrender to the present moment and do what you can in that moment. If you are in a situation you don't like, you can leave it and change it. Again, this comes to acceptance that you're in the situation, and then you take the action from that place of non-resistance. Do you see how all of these lead to peace? It eliminates suffering. There will be no more mental and emotional resistance in your present moment of life when you take one of these paths. All of these paths are in the now. They happen right at that moment. You will instantly release the resistance. Surrender breaks the unconscious resistance patterns. Non-surrender strengthens ego. Surrender releases you from the grips of the ego. Surrender puts you in touch with the timeless being inside of you that is unaffected by life situations and externals outside of you. Key takeaways. 1. Surrender to the present moment. 2. Take positive action in the present moment. 3. Change or leave a situation in the present moment. I will leave you with these words from Tolle to tie a bow on this concept. Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. Always work with it, not against it. Make it your friend and ally, not your enemy. This will miraculously transform your whole life. If you have tried out any of these concepts to be more present, feel free to comment and share your experience as we all become more fully conscious in the here and now. If this resonated with you, please give it a like and share it with someone who you think would enjoy it. Knowledge Distilled is here to empower you with actionable knowledge so that you can not only learn new things, but apply them in realistic ways to see the benefits in your life. If this is something you want more of, feel free to subscribe and I will see you in the next one.